This video is one of a series in which I'm reviewing and critiquing the GitLab Basics documentation from the perspective of a new user, someone coming new to the documentation looking for help. In this particular video, I'll be reviewing and critiquing the title Create and Add Your SSH Keys. Okay, so I'm at the GitLab Basics top level page, and having completed these other two tasks, I'm now moving on to create and add your SSH keys. So I'll click on the link. One of the first things I notice is that the title on the top level page is create and add your SSH keys. But here the title is how to create your SSH keys. So there's a bit of a disconnect between the title from the top level page and the document here, which seems a bit odd. So the previous topic was create and add. This, I'm guessing, is only about creating them. All right. I imagine ads covered somewhere else. Okay, it goes on. This topic describes how to create SSH keys. You do this to use Git over SSH instead of Git over HTTP. Okay, there was a brief discussion in one of the other topics within GitLab Basics about I think it said SSH was better over HTTP. But in that content, there wasn't an expansive explanation as to why. It was quite brief. It just said SSH is preferred. You do this to use Git over SSH instead of Git over HTTP. There really needs to be a further description of why you would do this. And yeah, perhaps move that to somewhere else. If I've come here, I should have already made a decision about using SSH. So I don't think there's any need to, again, bring up the point about SSH versus HTTP. Anyway, so just a quick review, quick rundown of the procedure. Creating your SSH keys. Go to your command line and follow the instructions to generate your SSH key pair. Log into GitLab. Okay, so the procedure is titled creating your SSH keys, but it then goes on to, I'm guessing, the GitLab user interface is used to create them, or you add them to the GitLab UI or within the GitLab UI. Strange. What I find odd is that it's titled creating your SSH keys, but it links to another document in generating the SSH key pair. Why is it a key pair? Is that why SSH keys is a plural? It's a bit unclear. Okay, go to your command line. Okay, I've got the command line set up per a previous document. Follow the instructions. It's a little unclear whether the instructions that they're referencing, just by looking at the text, are these instructions here, this particular procedure, or procedures are the instructions that are linked to. Okay, for the moment, I'll click on that link. Okay. Wow, let me just check that I've come to the right spot. Go back for a moment. To follow the instructions to generate your SSH key pair. Okay. Wow, this goes into a whole lot of information about SSH keys and Git. Git is a distributed version control system. Right, okay. I'm not sure why I need that information here. I'm just looking to create the SSH key pair For a more detailed explanation of how the SSH protocol works, read this nice tutorial about digitalization. Okay. Again, I'm not sure that I need this information here. I've already decided to use Git. And again, they're talking here about the SSH protocol, but I've already decided to use that. And it seems a little odd to be referring to a tutorial that's presented elsewhere. I know that's additional information, but yeah, I'm not sure that needs to be the requirements. The only requirement is to have the OpenSSH client installed on your system. This one's pre-installed on GNU Linux and Mac OS, but not on Windows. Okay, so I've already got those requirements because I'm using Mac OS. And then there are instructions for Windows 10. All right, type of SSH keys and which to use. GitLab supports different types of keys. Again, there's a reference here to an Arch Wiki article. I'm not quite sure. For more information about what? Okay. Again, seems we've got to reference an external article, but I understand. We'll focus on SSH ED25519 and RSA here. Okay, as an admin, you can restrict which keys should be permitted and their minimum length. Okay, in my case, I'm not an admin, so I can skip that. ED25519 SSH keys. Following best practices, you should always favor ED25519 SSH keys since they are... Oh, okay. Well, that's recommended. I'm not sure that I really needed to know about these other types of keys. Okay, so why would I not use this one? They were introduced in OpenSSH 6.5, so any modern OS should include the option to create them. If for any reason your OS or the GitLab instance you interact with doesn't support this, you can fall back to RSA. Okay, so ED25519 is recommended, but either your operating system or the GitLab instance might not support that key type. All right, I understand that. In which case you fall back to RSA. But how do I confirm? How do I verify whether my operating system or GitLab instance does or doesn't support that type of key? There's no explanation here. I'd like to see that added so that I could verify. I don't know offhand, so I'd really need some help in confirming that. Then there's a description of RSA SSH keys. Okay, I'll ignore that because I'm going to try the ED option. Right, generating a new SSH key pair. Okay, now we get to the content that I was looking for. Before creating an SSH key pair, make sure to read about the different types of... Okay, done that. To generate a new SSH key pair, open a terminal on Linux, macOS. Generate a new... Okay, so I use this command. What's the C? No, that's not my email address, so I need something else. Oh, the -C flag adds a comment in the key in case you have multiple of them and want to tell which is which. It is optional. So, oh, okay. So if I happen to have multiple SSH key pairs, the comment means that I can... That's kept with the key. Yeah, it adds a comment to the key. So I can then tell which is which. All right. All right, so I'll go to terminal. These are the ones that I've created earlier, so I'll remove those. Okay, SSH -keygen ED25519. So I'm guessing that parameter defines the T or type, and then a comment. I'll just put in test SSH key pair. Okay. and press enter. Generating public-private key pair. Enter file on which to save the key. Okay, let me just check. Step 3. Next, you will be prompted to input a file path to save your SSH key pair to. If you don't already have an SSH key pair, okay. If you don't already have an SSH key pair and aren't generating a deploy key, well, I'm guessing I don't. That's why I'm reading these instructions and following them. And aren't generating a deploy key. Not really sure what a deploy key is. I'm guessing I'm not. Use the suggested path by pressing enter. Using the suggested path will normally allow your SSH client to automatically use the SSH key pair with no additional configuration. If you already have an SSH key pair with the suggested file path, which in my case I do because I've created one for other purposes, you will need to input a new file path and declare what host this SSH key pair will be used for in your config file. Okay. All right. So what I might do is I'll call this file call it test, but I'll use the rest of that suggested default name. So test underscore ID underscore ED25519. All right. Press enter. Enter passphrase. Oh. Okay, step 4. Once the path is decided, you will be prompted to input a password to secure your new SSH key pair. It's best practice to use a password, but it's not required, and you can skip creating it by pressing enter twice. If in any case you want to add or change the password of your SSH key pair, you can use the... Okay, well I don't have one created as yet. I think that should be elsewhere. Because these instructions talk about creating it. All right. It's a best practice to use a password, but it's not required. Okay, so how do I decide whether I should or shouldn't? I wonder what the implications are of not putting a password in, not providing a password. I'll put a password in here, I don't like the idea of not using a password, so put in sesame, enter, enter same passphrase again. Oh, okay, that ought to be a passphrase, not a password, but for the purposes of this, I'm just going to use a password, just a single word. It doesn't note here that I have to provide it twice. Well, I guess it's being used to make sure that I've typed it correctly the first time. Okay, if that's correct, that I'd suggest that needs to be added to step 4. Anyway, SESAME, enter. Oh, okay, I've got some output. Your identification has been saved in, okay, that's good. That was the name that I gave it here. Your public key has been saved in test ID .pub. Okay. Right, so I've done that bit. Now it's time to add the newly created public key to your GitLab account. Okay. Public key. With creating a key pair, what's the public key? Your public key has been saved in, right, so there's the name of the file that I gave, which is test ID, and then there's another file, which is apparently my public key, which is that with an extension of .pub. Okay. I'm guessing the extension means public. All right. Okay, so now I add it to my GitLab account. Okay, adding an SSH key to your GitLab account. Copy your public SSH key to the clipboard by using one of the commands below, depending on your operating system. Okay, I'm using Mac OS, so switch back to the terminal. So I'll just check. So I've got those two files. Okay, so pb copy, and then, okay, I think that's an example file, I believe. And it's got the .pub on the end, so I'm guessing I put in the file that's got the .pub on the end. All right, so test. It's in the current directory, so I don't need to specify a path, I think. ed25519.pub. Okay. So that copies key to the clipboard. I wonder if I can just copy the name of the file. No, I think that copies the content of the file. Okay. All right. Go back to the instructions. You can also open the key in a graphical editor and copy it from there, but be careful not to accidentally change anything. All right. Note, if you opted to create an RSA key, the name might differ. Okay, well, that also applies to if you've created the ED type key, because if you've chosen a different name for the file, because you've already got an SSH key, you need to provide a new name. Okay. So I think that admonition should be earlier, perhaps here. Sure. Okay. So I've done step one. Step two. Add your public SSH key to your GitLab account by clicking your avatar in the upper right corner and selecting settings. The upper right. I'm looking at the documentation. Upper right corner and selecting settings. Oh, okay, I'm guessing it means I need to be in the GitLab UI. Okay. Clicking your avatar in the upper right corner and selecting settings. Okay, I'll go over to the GitLab UI. That's my avatar and click settings. Okay, settings. Okay, let me just see if I'm in the right place. From there on, navigate to SSH keys and paste your public key in the key section. Okay, oh, so I did want to go to SSH keys. So I went into settings and there's SSH keys. Clicked on that, SSH keys. So what do we need to do again? Paste your public key in the key section. Okay. Did I do that in step one? Okay, copy your public SSH key to the clipboard. Right, so in the key section. Okay, paste your public SSH key. Don't use your private key. Paste. Okay. So that was copied using pb copy command. So, all right, I'm guessing it's okay. If you created the key with a comment, which I did, this will appear under title. Okay, let's just check title. Okay. So the comment that I put in the key, which was test SSH key pair, is here, but also here in the title. All right. If not, give your key an identifiable title like work laptop, home workstation. Okay, well, I did give it a comment, so that's okay. And click add key. Oh, okay. Do I click add key only if I didn't give it an identifiable title? No, that doesn't make sense. Must add key, click add key regardless. Okay. I think it would be better or a little easier to read and easy to understand if that step 2 was perhaps broken down into several sub-steps. Okay, note, if you manually copy your public SSH key, make sure you copy the entire key starting with that and ending with your email. Oh, mine doesn't end with the email. Oh, what if I did something wrong there? Okay, and I have to click add key, right? All right. Right, testing that everything is set up correctly. To test whether your SSH key was added correctly, run the following command in your terminal, replacing GitLab.com with your GitLab's instance domain. Okay, well, mine's hosted by GitLab.com, so copy the whole of that, go over to the terminal, paste that in. Okay, enter passphrase for key. Right, okay, so it's SESAME. Welcome to GitLab, test users. Okay. The first time we connect, okay, this is not the first time I've connected to GitLab by SSH, so I don't get that. Once added to the list of known hosts, if that's been done, you won't be asked to validate the authenticity of GitLab's host again. Run the above command once more and you should receive a welcome to GitLab message. Okay, let me just double check. Welcome to GitLab. Yep, I did. Okay. So that indicates that everything's right. Okay. Working with non-default SSH key pair paths. No, well, yes, but I won't look at that for the moment. Okay, so this explains if you've given the name, if you've kept your SSH key pair in a different path or you've given it a different name, this is how you add it to the configuration file, the SSH configuration file. To retain these settings, you need to save them to a configuration file. Okay. For open SSH clients, this is configured in the blah configuration file. In this file, you can set up configurations for multiple hosts like GitLab.com, your own GitLab instance, GitHub, Bitbucket, etc. Okay. Right, okay. Well, I don't need to worry about that for the moment. So, okay. Per repository SSH keys. No, good with that. Deploy keys. Here's deploy keys. Right. No, I'm not interested in that really. Applications, SSH. Well, okay. So there's nothing more there that I think is relevant to me. So I'll go back. So I've created the SSH key pair and added it to the GitLab UI. So I'm back here. So I generated the SSH key pair. Yep. Log into GitLab. Yeah, In the upper right corner, click your avatar and select Settings. On the User Settings menu, select SSH Key. Oh, what? Paste the public key generated in the first step in the key text field. Optionally, give it a descriptive title so that you can recognize it in the event you add multiple keys. Oh, I've already done that. Why is that repeated here? This was to create your SSH keys, but it links to another document to create them, and I added it to the GitLab UI, following the instructions in the linked document. So why are those instructions repeated here? Oh, okay, here's a screenshot of what I'm supposed to see within the GitLab UI. Right, let me just double check. Okay, SSH key, that box, fingerprint, and then, okay, that was the content of what I pasted. All right, so come back here. All right, so that looks the same. So, all right, so I guess I'm on the right track, but why those instructions are repeated here, I'm not sure. And there's a note, once you add a key, you cannot edit it. If the paste didn't work, you need to remove the offending key and re-add it. Once you add a key, you cannot edit it. Okay. Just not sure quite why that's there. So I haven't yet added the key. If the paste didn't work, how do I know if the paste did or didn't work? I mean, I know the content that I put in to that I used that pb copy command to copy went in, but I wonder how you verify. I mean, if you look at the web UI, it's there, so I'm guessing it worked. I imagine if there was some problem with the paste, maybe it's if the paste command or if the content that you're pasting is not right, it'll come up with an error message. I guess. I'm not really sure. Right. So that's the conclusion to my review and critique of create and add your SSH keys. Nothing more to say at the moment, so I'll stop it here.